Let me know when, Joe.
Yep. It's just
Anytime.
hooking up now. It should be any second. You should get the thing saying it. Let's see. I just want to make sure I have my volume off. Yes, I do. Okay, we're good. We're live streaming.
Joanne, did you realize, did you hear Michael Nesbitt died this week?
Yes, I did. And I thought of you right away, Joel. I really did. I was like,
let's-
oh my God.
Folks, honest to God, good evening. Welcome to the December 15th, 2021 meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission. We'll open with a roll call. Mr. Urice. Mr. Urice.
Where'd he go?
Was
Oh,
just
Helen's
here.
He's gone.
So much for him
Helen is here now too.
all tacking up. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, he's gone. He must have popped out. I'll watch for him.
All right. Ms. Hofstadter, is Helen here?
Yeah, Helen's there.
Mr. Kiokio,
I'm here.
Mr. Sylvain,
Here.
and Chairman Finaldi is here. We don't have to seat any alternates tonight. I don't think any of them are on. Mr. Urice is here somewhere. And Joe,
Waiting
you'll
for
let
him.
him in. Is he trying to log back in?
Yes, as soon as he tries, I'll let him in. I don't know if he realizes it yet. He shut his video off, and I think he might have done more than just shut the video off.
All right, he's got a new computer, so what are you gonna do?
Right. Well, here he is. Let's see, admit. Okay.
We're going to keep moving forward here. Commission members, the minutes of the November 17th, 2021 meeting were previously distributed. Unless there's any discussion, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll make that motion to
Sure.
accept the minutes of the November 17th meeting.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are accepted.
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
Mr. Chairman, I just apologies. I inadvertently closed my Zoom window while you were calling roll, but I'm obviously here.
Okay, good. Glad to have you back. Just real quick, I'll read my standard intro that we have to read for the virtual meetings. This meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission is being held on Zoom as a virtual meeting. Even though this meeting is a virtual meeting, members of the public and interested parties continue to have the opportunity to participate in the meeting in a couple of different ways. You can participate via Zoom and see the audio and the video, or you can call in by phone and participate via audio only. Just a heads up, if you call in, we may have to mute and unmute your phone to avoid an echo. Instructions on how to participate in the meeting appear on the City of Danbury website, and all of the documents and materials that apply to the matters to be discussed during this meeting, including the agenda, are also available on the City of Danbury website. As always, if you have any questions, please contact the City of Danbury Planning and Zoning Department. As a reminder, the entire meeting will be posted on and can be seen on the City of Danbury website. We will follow the posted agenda as per standard practice. If prior to the meeting, any questions or comments on agenda items were submitted via email to the Planning and Zoning Department, those comments will be read during the appropriate portion of the meeting. Looking at our agenda, we have no new public hearings. We have nothing under our continuation of public hearing agenda, and we have nothing under our old business for discussion and possible action. So in that case, we'll move right to the one and only item on our agenda, which is a referral. It's an A3A referral petition of SC Ridge Owner LLC to amend the master plan for the summit. Approved June 23rd, 2020, and amended May 11th, 2021. Amendment number 2, public hearing scheduled for January 11th, 2022. Jen, are you going to handle the presentation?
I am, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
It's all
So
yours.
hopefully everyone has Sharon's staff report dated December 8th, 2021. The Zoning Commission received a petition from SC Ridge Owner LLC to amend the P&D master plan for the summit. The master plan was approved in June 2020, and it was the first amendment, what we're calling the first amendment, was approved by the Zoning Commission May 2021, earlier this year. As a reminder, the property is located at 100 Reserve Road. It's approximately 99.53 acres in size. So the amendment is comprised of 4 requests. And I'll go through those quickly, and then I'll go through them in detail as Sharon does in her staff report. The first request to allow up to approximately 82% of the full 85% of the non-residential square footage on site under the retrofit alternative. I apologize, my dog is barking. If you can hear her, I apologize. The second request to approve use of a portion of the site for the city's secondary school, referred to as the Danbury Career Academy. I'm waiting for her to stop barking. I'm sorry. I think the UPS guy's here. The third request to approve a decrease from 404 residential units to a minimum of 100. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I apologize.
Really doesn't like this referral. I don't know what happened.
No, we can get through
I
that.
can hear fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, Jen, we all have dogs. Go ahead. Who cares?
And we've all been through this too, by the way. With children
You're-
as well.
With your dog, we've been through this. No, I'm just being.
I'm
cute.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Fine, yeah.
Forge ahead.
Yeah, and of course, my son and husband are downstairs, so she's up, she's spooked. I don't know. Between the UPS guy, the FedEx, and the Amazon Prime guy, she loses her mind. Anyway,
My cat doesn't make that kind of noise.
so the third request, I apologize. The third request I did go through this, to approve a decrease from 404 residential units to a minimum of 180 residential units. The fourth request, without exceeding the new maximum non-residential building floor area, to amend the minimum and maximum square footage for the non-residential use categories to provide for more flexibility within the leasing space within the existing building. So in more detail, number 1, the request to increase the non-residential floor area to 1,036,250 square feet. It's a mouthful. So the P&D zoning regulations were amended earlier this year, May 2021. And as a reminder, it's a 3-part process when these changes have to happen. The P&D regulations are amended first. The master plan is then amended, and then if required, the site plan, it's either a revised site plan or depending on the phase, a new site plan would come in. So at this point, they're at number 2. They're coming in for the amendment to the master plan. So again, the P&D zoning regs were amended May 2021 to allow for this increase from the original 75% to 85% of the existing building GFA, gross floor area. This amendment number 2, includes a request to increase this non-residential floor area from the original 950,390 square feet, which again, or 75%, to that new number, that new threshold, which ends up being 1,036,250 square feet, which results in approximately 81.8%. And they're not at their max. Again, if you recall, the amendment has a maximum 85%. So they're below that 85%. And as a reminder, the building itself, the size, is 1,267,000 square feet. 1,267,186 square feet in size. That's the actual size. And if you took the 85%, the full 85%, as Sharon notes, it's 1,077,108 square feet. Lots of numbers. The second request has to do with using a portion of the structure for the Career Academy. So the amendment is looking to designate 3 pods within the existing structure, identified as pods P, Q, and R for the Career Academy, which we designate as a secondary school. Again, the text amendment was already completed. This just reflects the text amendment. And these pods were previously designated for residential use. And the secondary school, as a reminder, is classified in the P&D section, zoning regulations, as a community facility category. Request number 3, this is the reduction in the residential units from 400, the previously approved 404 to 180 units. Again, this is consistent with the request to reduce, I'm sorry, this is consistent with the request to change the use of those pods to the school, and then the number of units comes down to that 180. And then request number 4 is the request to set the minimum and maximum non-residential use category limits to allow that flexibility. It's like a sliding scale. Amendment number 1 previously allowed for flexibility under the master plan to account for increases or decreases in the tenant spaces. Amendment 2 seeks to revise those ranges within each category, again, consistent with the overall increase in the non-residential building square footage that I noted earlier. Sharon notes this request does not appear unreasonable. As noted in the staff report for amendment number 1, minimum and maximum limits ensure that the mix of non-residential uses will be maintained. As part of the site plan department review process, we continue to monitor those changes in the tenant spaces. Should the zoning commission approve the increase in non-residential square footage to the 1,036,250 square feet, and considering use within the structure of the Career Academy based on the petitioner's letter and the square footage allocations described, the attached table represents the resultant square footage by phase. And just as a reminder, phase 1 is within the actual building, and phase 2 is a development that's outside of the core building. Compliance with the POCD, the 2020 master plan and amendment number 1 were deemed in compliance with the characteristics of the P&D. Amendment number 2 has no impact on POCD compliance. It increases the non-residential building square footage and revises uses as permissible under the current regulations. It also provides that flexibility I talked about. Proposed uses and square footage allocated must remain within the limits designated in the zoning regulations pursuant to the approved master plan. Under zoning compliance, the proposed amendments do not present any use or condition that would render the site non-conforming with respect to the zoning regs. At the time of department site plan approval, we will at that time determine compliance with the zoning regulations. And criteria for approval. Amendment number 2 meets the criteria for approval noted in section 4H3c of the P&D regs, and will maintain a site that is compliant with the POCD and the purpose for which it was rezoned. The excuse me, the retrofitting of a portion of the existing building for the school is beneficial to the city, which is listing criteria number 7, which was added to the zoning regulations in 2019. And again, any future site plan approvals or waivers will go through the required departments for additional review. In conclusion, based on the above, it's reasonable for the commissions to conclude that the proposed amendment number 2 to the summit is consistent with the purpose for which the site was rezoned, and the master plan as amended was approved and provides flexibility while maintaining a mixed use development. Any questions?
Discussion, commission members. Anybody?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Kyokyo, please.
either clarification or question, whichever category you want to put it in. The the PND allows up to 85% maximum square footage for non-residential. And so this proposal is to 82%. So is it because it's the master plan that's really getting revised here? Because it seems to fit within the PND change there. Is
Jen?
that the reason for the request?
Yes, it is. So again, as I'd said, it's a 3-step process. You amend the regulations in the PND section, and then the master plan has to be amended to reflect the change in the zoning regulations based on what they're requesting. In this case, the PND regulations were amended to allow a maximum of 85%.
Yep.
The applicant has come in and requested an increase in that allocation, and they're still within, they haven't exceeded that 85%. They're at that 81.8% or 82. Sorry, hold on.
So the PND allows,
81.8%.
so the PND allows up to 85%. The master plan up till now only allowed 75%. So they want to change the master plan to go up to 82%.
Correct.
That's what they're doing for this? Okay, all
Yeah.
right, so I got that. And there's no changes in the total square foot of this project since the inception, correct? The gross total?
Well, again, the building size itself hasn't changed, but it's how the space is being calculated.
Yeah, no, so the gross total hasn't changed.
No.
Okay. And then kind of on number 3, and it kind of gets to the same kind of question. So increasing the minimum residential units, the PND says the minimum is 175. I didn't notice that there was anything referenced in the master plan unless I didn't see it. So they're requesting 180, which is above that. So I'm not sure how that request fits in there. Because I see last year, the PND was changed to reduce the residential units from 250 to 175, the minimum number. So this 180 is greater than the 175. So it seems
Yeah.
like it fits in there, but I didn't see any, on the amendment number 1 for the master plan, didn't notice any reference to the number of minimum residential units. So I don't know why, unless the original plan prior to the amendment had something in there that this is changing. But I get that they're going to reduce the number of residential units because of the school that's going to take place or take the space in those pods. So I get that. I just don't understand why it didn't seem like they needed that request, but I don't know if there was somewhere else that made that necessary.
May I comment?
Go ahead, Joel.
As the way I read it, this request asks to reduce the minimum residentials from 404 to 180, which
Right.
the 404 was, put in a ways back whenever we first started chopping this area up to have it be residential. And then they started whittling away the residential and whittling away the residential. And then once again, whittling away the residential so they can increase the commercial space. If you will, they call it euphemistically non-residential space.
Well, if I could just, that plus the Career Academy. So it's 2 things.
Okay.
Career Academy technically isn't commercial space, right, Jennifer? It's something else.
It's
It's
a community,
community-
it's a community facility.
So this has to be done to accommodate the school, basically. This is going to be a school, a city of Danbury controlled school. And that's to make room for it. They have to cut back on the residential. That's what's
I
going
beg to
on.
differ. I beg to differ. They don't have to take it out of the residential. There's a lot of non-residential space. They believe that that's required. I mean, that's the way you call it, non-residential space. That percentage wise, your career academy could be whittled out of that. So I don't buy that it has to come out of the residential.
Well,
But there's some reason they're whittling residential down, and I would suspect it's economic. Just observation.
Okay, well, fine. What's your question?
My question, I just had an interjection to make about it being reduced down to 182. It's being reduced from 404 down to 182. So it's being cut in half on this request. That's
I guess I missed that somewhere, because the PND, which was approved last year, had the residential units reduced from 250 to 175. So that's the limitation in the PND. I guess I missed maybe in the master plan, it says 404. It was originally 404.
Yes. It's right here. Amend number 2, request to commensurate the pods P, Q, and R from residential to a secondary school to decrease the number of approved residential units within the PND from 404 to a minimum of 180. That's what the proposal seeks to do, from 404 to 180.
And the impression I got from the report was that the current reduction would be from 360 to 180 with the occupying of that one pod by the school. And just as a quick aside, I would also be concerned with the reduction in residential if it were for anything but the addition of this school, which does help the city. So,
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr.
my 2
Chairman,
cents.
Oh.
Go ahead, Jen.
if I may, just to clarify and remind the commission, as part of the text amendment earlier this year, that allowed for that reduction, and I'm gonna read the section, so just stay with me. This is I'm getting the section so I can quote it. 4H, 2B, 2A, 4, okay? The minimum of 250 dwelling units must be proposed to be located in the existing buildings to be retrofit. The minimum number of dwelling units to be located in the existing buildings to be retrofit under this alternative may be reduced to 175 units if a portion of the retrofit building is proposed to be occupied by a public school owned and operated by the city of Danbury. In only this such instance, 175 dwelling units shall be considered the minimum number of dwelling units required for the PND site. If such public school is not constructed, the minimum number of dwelling units to be located in the existing building to be retrofit shall remain at 250. So the only way you can get that reduction from 250 to 175 is if within the retrofit building, you're proposing to occupy such space by a public school owned and operated by the city of Danbury.
So that was for the PND, right?
Yes, yes. Again, the text change first, and then the
Yep.
change to the master plan to reflect the change in the text amendment.
Got it. Okay.
So again, because the Career Academy is a public school owned and operated by the city of Danbury, they're allowed to take that reduction from 250 to 175, minimum of 175, and they're coming in with 180.
Got it. Okay.
Any other questions for Jennifer? Joel, go ahead.
Oh, you're muted,
You're
Joel.
mute. You're on mute.
Sorry. The text was previously amended in what, May this year? Or at sometime prior to tonight. the text you're referring to is not zoning regulation text.
Yes, it is.
It is zoning, okay, so the zoning regulations have already been changed,
Correct.
okay? Then our approval of whatever's before us tonight is window dressing? I mean, if they've changed the zoning regulations, the only thing it seems that we would have to approve would be a site plan.
We're not approving any, this is a referral. We're giving a
Well, I
positive
understand, but
referral.
to whom are we referring anything?
It's back to the zoning commission. It's a referral from, it's an H3A referral from the zoning commission. The zoning commission approves the master plan. That's as required in the P&D regulations. The master plan is the overall umbrella. Within that master plan, similar to the reserve, they're then required for specific phases to come in for departmental site plan reviews.
So we already gave a positive on the zoning regulation changes, I assume. We
Yes.
did that before, okay?
Yes,
And now we're being asked to give a positive or a negative recommendation, a referral on just say it in 3 words or less,
Master plan.
the master plan. That's it.
yes.
And
The master
are we
plan for the
actually-
summit at Danbury.
we're required to do that? I mean, they can refer anything to us they want, but we're required by hook or
Yes.
crook to,
Yes,
okay, but it's window dressing. We've already proved it. I think we gave them a positive referral. So this is, okay, here's the plan that you've already approved the regulations for. So basically they're asking us to give a thumbs up or down again, basically on the same thing, just it's called the plan instead of the regulations.
correct.
this is the
Okay.
second.
All right, that's easy.
All right, whatever. I don't want to get into it. Okay. Any other questions for Jennifer, commission members? Anything else?
No.
Hearing none, unless there's any other discussion, I'll entertain a motion for a positive or a negative recommendation, referral rather.
I'll make a
Mr.
motion
Chairman.
for a positive referral to approve the changes in the master plan. Did I get that
Motion.
right?
For the reason cited in Sharon's report. The
Yes,
consistency with the plan.
goes without saying, in the reasons cited in Sharon's report.
Fair enough. Motion
Second.
made by Mr.
Second, Mr.
Sylvain.
Chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sylvain, for that second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a voice vote. All in favor of a positive referral, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? This matter gets a positive referral. Thank you all. And we'll continue on our agenda, which is pretty much
Thank you,
over.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening, folks. You'll see nothing under new business, nothing under correspondence. There's a few matters for reference only for you to take a look at. Is there anything else to come before the commission? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made, do I hear a second?
Is Helen.
Second.
Motion made by Mr., I think it was Kiokio, seconded by Ms. Hofstadter. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 This matter is adjourned. Good night, everybody. Have a good New Year's. We'll talk to you in
Merry
January.
Christmas, Happy
Mr.
New
Chairman,
Year.
Happy
Mr. Chairman,
holidays.
Merry Christmas.
can
Happy New
you
Year. We'll see
stay
you.
on after they turn off the YouTube?